So, alright, this is what I'm making this video about. So, I live in Pennsylvania, and this worries me a little bit. Philadelphia police, I don't live in Philly though, I live pretty far from Philly, but if it's happening there, it could be happening anywhere. Philadelphia police bomb squad ATF on scene after explosives found in van. So, let's shut this off so it doesn't start playing. There we go. Alright. Multiple explosive devices were found inside a van near Center City, Philadelphia on Wednesday night, prompting a response by the city police bomb squad and federal investigators, according to reports. The discovery came as unrest continued in the city in reaction to the death of Walter Wallace Jr., 27, who was killed by police officers Monday. The case remains under investigation. So this dude right here, William Wallace Jr., he tried to attack police officers with a knife. Well, I would do the same as the police did. If somebody was coming at me with a knife trying to possibly kill me, I don't know what's going through this person's head. I would fire on them as well, because if I don't, I might not be able to go home to see my family that night. You see what I mean? Like, I know that it's terrible. It really is. My thoughts and prayers go out to this family, because losing a family member in any sort of way is traumatic. But this way is more so because they were actually killed by somebody versus an elderly grandparent going to sleep and going in their sleep, where they don't feel anything. It's just lights out. Uh, in this case, there's a lot of emotion behind it too, because after it happened, Philadelphia went to hell. There was rioting, looting, people were getting attacked. I actually have a picture of Elijah Schaefer here. Wait for it to pull up. So this is Elijah Schaefer. He works for The Blaze. Slightly Offensive is his show on there, and his mouth, as you can see right here, is blown up. It looks like he was trying to do the Kim Kardashian challenge where you suck inside of the cup till your lips get all fat. That's what it looks like. I feel sorry for him, and I hope he stays safe. He needs to hire somebody else to do the actual on-the-ground stuff, because they might end up killing him if they keep seeing him out there. Let's get back to the story. The city was under a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew Wednesday night into Thursday morning in expectations of a third night of vandalism and looting. The federal agents on scene were from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Fox 29 of Philly reported. Alright, just let's come away from the seriousness of this real quick. This is funny to me. So Logan Circle. The van was parked in Logan Circle. And Logan Circle is in Logan Square. I just think it's funny because Circle Square. I'm an idiot like that. I found that hilarious when I first seen it. But back to what we were saying. The van was parked in Logan Circle, 19th Street, and Benjamin Franklin Parkway in the Logan Square area just west of Center City, the reporter said. The devices found after 10 p.m., so it wasn't even that late into the night, 10 p.m. ET, Eastern Time, were described as M-type explosives, but no further information was immediately available. So, M-type explosives are Many law enforcement agencies consider these explosive devices commonly referred to as M80s, M100s, M250s, or M1000s, also known as silver salutes, also known as quarter sticks, and cherry bombs. Illegal because they exceed the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission's explosive weight limit for consumer fireworks. So they basically just have a little bit too much boom boom inside of it. Meanwhile, looters were reportedly targeting stores in the city's Winfield, I don't know, section, not far from St. Joseph's University. A Rite Aid pharmacy in the area had its front glass doors smashed and merchandise laying on the ground outside, according to a video posted by a reporter from Philadelphia's WPVI TV. Earlier Wednesday, both President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden commented on the unrest in Philly. Let's see what Trump had to say. Trump called the unrest in the city terrible, fact, and placed the blame on Democratic leadership in the city and the state of Pennsylvania. I also agree with that, the Philadelphia Inquirer reported. The mayor, or whoever it is allowing people to riot and loot and not stop them. It's also just a horrible thing. I saw the event, the shooting of Wallace. Everybody did. It was a terrible event. I guess that's being looked at very strongly. The federal government is looking at it also. Biden spoke briefly about Philadelphia on Wednesday after voting in Delaware. Now let's see what Biden has to say. And I am going to call out one thing because he only said a very small amount about this. He doesn't care that there's rioting and looting and all that going on. He hasn't since it all started. He waited, 3 or 4 months before condemning the violence and stuff going on? Everything before that, he was saying, oh, it's peaceful. I think to be able to protest is totally legitimate, totally reasonable, Biden said according to the Inquirer, but there's no excuse for the looting. Okay, there's no excuse for the looting. What about the violence, the vandalism? How about we call it what it is? Rioting, not protesting. Just saying. Philadelphia police said they made 81 arrests on Tuesday night's rioting, with 23 police officers suffering injuries, the newspaper reported. See, that's the thing. Everybody wants to talk bad about police officers, but they're the first person you call if something happens. Members of the Pennsylvania National Guard were expected to be deployed in the city by Friday, the Inquirer reported. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf declared a disaster emergency Wednesday to acquire additional support for dealing with the unrest. Alright, well, that's wonderful that he asked for additional support. That's always a good thing. But I do feel like lately the elites, the politicians, only half of them are actually looking at what's really going on the other half are just trying to not let the other side win anything. Um, I remember back when people said Antifa was just an idea. It wasn't a real thing. But I remember back in 2012, 2013, before Antifa really became like a widespread ideal, I knew people that were getting that they were stealing these they're like big orange circular things that they use. It's almost like traffic cones but bigger. They stole a bunch of those from around the city in Harrisburg and were cutting them into riot shields. Like, these people have been planning on doing this stuff for years. Um, they've just been letting it slow boil. Now now it's boiling over. They're actually bringing explosives. Like, the mortars could kill somebody. You throw a quarter stick of dynamite and it blows up, say, under one of these officers' foot or something, they're losing that foot. Or you go to throw it and somebody pushes you and it drops right in front of you and kills 3 people. These are the things that they're not thinking about anymore, and they should be, because guess what? Explosives, the ATF had to come out. He said down here that the feds are looking into it. This is terrorist activity. If it was a Muslim guy throwing explosives, they'd call him a terrorist, right or wrong. And I'm not Muslim. I don't agree with the extremists in the Islamic faith either, but they would call him a terrorist right away. Nothing. That's it, But because these people aren't Muslim, they're not calling them terrorists. All right. Over in Portland, it was mostly white people rioting, but they were doing it under the guise of under the disguise, really, of Black Lives Matter. They didn't care about black people. They just wanted to riot, loot, and commit a bunch of other felonies. Um, and it was Antifa. Antifa is a thing. There's a guy on Twitter that Andy No. Here, let's check his Twitter real quick. Andy No. All right, so Andy No has called out Antifa a lot. BLM Antifa activists stormed a Seattle news station for reporting on public arrest records related to the rioters. The activists claimed that reporting on their arrest was doxing. No, it's not, because it's I could look it up. You know what I mean? Like, you could go to the it's like the court records and stuff. It's all public record, so you're allowed to look at it. I'm guessing that these are more people that were arrested, but here's the funniest thing, okay? 1, 2, 3 of the ones that are on this page are black. The rest are all white. The rest are white. You would think that because it's Black Lives Matter, there would be more black people than white people. But Andy No, Look at this.